I've wanted to ride in a hot air balloon for a really long time. So I was beyond excited when I found out I was going to get to ride in the Fireball balloon at the Oklahoma Festival of Balloons in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Greg and his crew were probably as excited to have me there with them as I was for this opportunity to go ride with them. You could just see the excitement in their eyes as they were telling me step by step the process that went into getting this balloon up off the ground and into the air. Muskogee hosts the Oklahoma Festival of Balloons every summer. I've looked for statistics on how long it's been going on, but I couldn't find any. If you know how long it's been going, put that down in the comments. But it's held out at Hatbox Field, which used to be an airport back in the day, and you can tell by the hangar in the background. That hangar has been turned into an event center that hosts numerous events throughout the year for the area. And here comes the fun part. This is where they start to lift the balloon up off the ground and start getting it up into the air. So 3 of us climbed into the basket, and then we were off. Once you get off the ground and up into the air, all of the hustle and bustle of what's going on just seems to go away, and it's so peaceful and so quiet. You don't hear the wind blowing, you don't feel the wind, because you have become one with the wind. You're moving, the wind is taking you wherever it wants. You don't get to steer it whichever direction you want to go. You don't want to go as fast as you want to go. It's wherever the wind wants to take you, that's where you will go. So it's like you're just one with nature. After we had been in the air for about 45 minutes and probably traveled about 2 miles, we found a yard large enough to set the balloons down in. And after getting permission from the landowners, then it was time to start deflating the balloons and start packing them up to go back. After everything was all packed up, the crew gathered around me, and I was officially recognized as being an official aeronaut.
Okay, ballooning started back in the 1800s. The Montgolfier brothers family, their family had a paper factory. They saw paper in a fireplace rising. They got ideas in their head. But back then they thought smoke is what made the balloon rise. They ended up building a giant balloon, built a big nasty fire with manure and all kinds of stuff, making black smoke, put some animals on there. They lived. They flew and they lived. So then some other noblemen went up, they lived. So they started flying further and further. And rumor has it, history, whatever, legend, that pilots were flying in this smoke belching thing, and they were going into farmers' fields, and they were being attacked by pitchforks because it was an alien from outer space. So anyway, then hydrogen was found around, and hydrogen became the method of choice instead of ugly black stuff. Well, then back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, the hot air ballooning became a sport in the U.S. again, and they started making balloons. That's where the Albuquerque Festival. There were only 7 balloons in the original Albuquerque. Wow. And so from that, there have been a lot of traditions that have come since ballooning has come back, and that's been 30, 40 years. But there's one of the traditions we like to always follow is for a first timer. You are now what is called an aeronaut. Okay. Aeronauts are people who have flown in a balloon. Okay. Very few people in this world, percentage-wise, have flown in a balloon. Okay. And there was all kinds of ceremony kind of stuff. They'd make people, and this is back in Albuquerque, get down in the desert and face the sun. They'd have to face the sun and put their hands behind their back and drink champagne and get all this stuff. Mother Earth would be sprinkled on them. Okay, so keep in mind Mother Earth, because what we're getting ready to say. One of the things they came up with was the Balloonist Prayer. Okay. Okay, and we're going to say that to you now. Okay. Ready? The winds have welcomed you with softness.
The sun has blessed you with its warm hands. You have flown so high and so well that God has joined you in your laughter and set you gently back into the loving arms of Mother Earth. Welcome to ballooning.
Thank you.
You're official.
Thank you. And I'm going to go give you a card.
Got it.
What? Oh, you got a card there. Okay. Here is one of our cards, and on the back is the Balloonist Prayer. Nice. And we are not going to drench you with anything, as happened traditionally, along with other things in Albuquerque. But it's something we like to do for everybody on their first time. So, all right.
You're not getting the grass on the head.
Yeah, because here's what would happen: the grass, little bit that there was, with the sand and the champagne, would turn to concrete in a short period of time. It got nasty real quick. She got the real deal in Albuquerque. So
I loved it.
She got the real deal.
Yeah, sounds fun.
But so there's but this is one tradition we.
But not some stranger's backyard.
Yeah.
Well, back then they didn't care.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to thank Greg and his crew for welcoming me aboard the Fireball hot air balloon. I would also like to thank the Muskogee Parks and Recreation for hosting this event, and for the City of Muskogee providing Hatbox Field to host this event at. My employer, Georgia Pacific, raises money throughout the year for the United Way, and one of the things they did was sell raffle tickets for these hot air balloon rides, and that's how I was able to get this ride. So I would like to thank my employer and the United Way for making this experience possible. Thank you.